someone has to explain the American economy to me. I know I've said this before. I still don't get it. Last week was tax day, and as usual, because HBO is so generous, and I'm sure so will be the new owners, I paid to the government, if you add in state tax, local, sales, property, fees, Obamacare, probably almost 60% of what I earn. That's a lot. And I still wouldn't mind if Bernie Sanders would stop saying the rich don't pay taxes. And while I'm sure the super rich with their army of accountants and corporate loopholes get away with murder, us regular rich people pay a shit ton of taxes. And who stands up and gives us a pat on the back? Nobody, that's who. The top 10% pay 72% of all federal income taxes, and the bottom half, 3%. The Democratic Socialists talk about socialism like we don't already have a lot. Social Security, unemployment, Medicare, nutritional assistance, Medicaid, Obamacare, disability, housing subsidies. Again, not against it, just the same question. How can you be soaking the rich and failing the poor so badly? How can it be that the federal government alone took in over $5 trillion in taxes last year, and we still need that? Are we really this incompetent and corrupt? Don't answer that. But here's the truth. You're not going to get health care to these people by threatening to tax and eat the rich. You raise billionaires' taxes, they just leave the state. Or they leave the country. Or in some cases, the planet.
It's crazy, but he's absolutely right. 72%. And I've heard when you look at it in totality, it's like more along the lines of, if you look at people who make $90,000 a year or more, are responsible for paying about 90% of the taxes. The bottom half of the earners in the country either pay very little or no taxes at all. But yet you get these socialists out here saying that, hey, we need more and more and more of your money. No, the problem is we have people in Congress on the right and on the left that are fiscally irresponsible with the tax resource or with the tax revenue. Super irresponsible. I mean, think about this, man. We spend over 50% of the tax revenue on social programs. That's, FHA, housing situations. That's, food stamps. That's Section 8, you name it, Medicare, Medicaid. We're subsidizing and paying a lot for a whole heck of a lot of people. But yet politicians, especially those on the left, they continue to get out here and say, we got to tax the rich. We got to tax you more. No, they have to do better. They got to do better. And with all of these different situations that are popping up around the country, all of this fraudulent stuff that we find out that taxpayer money is going to, that stuff needs to be shored up. We should have a surplus of money with the amount of money that is brought in on an annual basis. Over $5 trillion in tax revenue. Come on, man. Maher is absolutely correct here. Now, I'm not a millionaire and I don't make $1 million a year, but I pay a good chunk of taxes as well. And it's frustrating when you see, like, where is the money going? I live in the state of Maryland, and I'm about to show you a clip of Governor Wes Moore, who, in my opinion, has done a terrible job in the state. He's bragging about, regulations on grocery stores. And to be honest with you, I don't think any of us even knew that was a thing. I don't think any of us knew that was a thing. Hit the like button. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel.
We made Maryland the first state in the country that now bans price gouging and price manipulation. So when you go into a supermarket, they can't use your data against you when you go to the checkout counter.
So you'd rather do that than what they're doing in New York, which is city run. I mean, that's what Mayor, I see you laugh.
Yeah, no.
And I say good, laugh.
Yeah.
Because that's ridiculous. But that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, we find out now that the supermarkets that are around the areas where the city plans to put their supermarket are very pissed off because they're like, well, of course, how are we going to compete? But, Mayor Mandami, that's extreme socialism. Some would say communism. But so you're not for that, because I feel like the Democratic Party has two wings now. One would be Democratic Socialist. That's the term they use. Mandami is one, Bernie Sanders. I mean, there are several others, AOC, right. And then there's what I would call Democratic Classic. Which are you?
Well, I'm going to be very honest. I mean, like, the Democratic Party didn't choose me, right? When I ran for governor, the Democratic Party put millions of dollars to try to stop me. It just happened the people of Maryland had a different point of view, and the people of Maryland made me the governor, but no party boss and no party made me the governor. And I like that, because there is no, I honestly believe if you just swallow a party ideology, you're probably not thinking hard enough. And I don't care what party that you're talking about.
I don't know how true this is, or this statement that this man said, but I will tell you this, as someone that lives in the state of Maryland, this dude has ran the state into the ground. We started with a surplus. We are now in a deficit. This dude has raised taxes on everything and everybody. He has done it. That is a fact. You can look it up. And when I say he raised tax on everything and everybody, I'm talking about, yes, even including the poor. Dude raised taxes on, getting your car registered, going through the tolls. We have tons of tolls because we have bridges and tunnels all out here. They've raised the taxes on that. So when they say, oh, no, we're not taxing the poor. Yeah, you are. Because we all have to go through these tolls and we all got to get our car registered. They've raised property taxes. They've raised capital gains taxes. They've raised income taxes. They've raised sales taxes. Think about this, man. In the state of Maryland right now, in Anne Arundel County, you have to pay. There's no more plastic bags. You actually have to pay for a bag to bag your groceries. So this dude's talking about price gouging. But you got to pay for a bag to bag your groceries in every grocery store, in any convenience store out here. This dude's a joke, man. The dude's a joke. I'm glad Bill Maher at least pushed him on it. You see, you didn't get an answer, but I'm just going off of his policies and just based off of the things that he's implemented thus far. This dude leans more with the Bernie Sanders and the AOCs and the Mamdamis of the country and of the Democrat Party. He leans way more closer to them, just based off of what I've seen. He hates small business. They've raised the prices on how much it costs to own a business or to start a business. They've raised the annual fees on your businesses. I mean, it is insane what this guy has done. So the reason why I think is this: he didn't answer the question because he is one. It's crazy.
But the president traditionally, this is why a lot of people say this is why he ran for president in the first place, because he was at the one where Obama just tore him a new asshole from the podium, and now he's going to get a chance to say all sorts of insulting things to the press, just like any one of his press conferences. So it's not really that different.
This is going to be interesting, man. This whole press, White House, press dinner or whatever the case may be. It's going to be interesting. What happens, obviously, we will discuss it and we will talk about it here. It's going to be interesting. But Maher is absolutely right, because if you guys recall, you know what? Check this out.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately, you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
250 journalists now have signed on to a letter asking members of the White House press corps to, quote, forcefully demonstrate opposition to President Trump at the annual event. They say journalists should make him uncomfortable during the evening. The president is set to attend the first time in either of his terms the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Joe Concha's new column is titled "The Press Declare War on Trump at the WHCA Dinner." He highlights the hypocrisy this way. These are the same people who treated former President Obama like a rock star at these dinners. Former President Biden also received a warm reception despite his utter disdain for the press. Is Trump wrong to use his First Amendment rights to call out newsrooms and outlets that have an outright disdain for him and his policies? Not one bit. Criticism isn't a one-way.
Yeah, criticism isn't a one-way street. And I wanted to show the clip, from Obama, and I also wanted to show you guys this because at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I mean, it's really crazy that you have people, members of the media, and I get it. You can be a member of the media and be, and criticize, the president and criticize whoever you would like to. It just seems like the criticism is like one way. But what we know about legacy media and anybody that works in it, most of these people, obviously, they've gone to college and they're just super left wing. And we know that 90% of, legacy media or mainstream media, however you want to look at it, they're all leftists. And, they want to push an agenda, in my opinion, I think that is antithetical to God, but also, antithetical to what's best for our country. And you can see instead of these people, just presenting information in a fair manner, they lean heavily left and, they manipulate facts and they lie to their people. Let's just keep it real. And it's really ridiculous that we have a press corps that is like this. And even if you don't like them, man, you can still be respectful to the office. It's just like those of us in the military. You could not like, your chief. You could not like your division officer. You could not like the XO or the CO. But the rank requires respect. And it seems like that is something that a lot of these people, they lack for sure. They lack, but let's keep going.
But all his original fans are turning on him. Have you seen that? I mean, this week, Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson both renounced the leader, as Candace Owens did it, Alex Jones. All the people.
All people
what?
I look to for advice.
I know. It's like, look, I respect how seriously you're laying this out. I do. But just think about what it says about where we are. That we are in a place where we are looking at Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan as bellwethers of our political status. Like, wow, Rogan. What am I going to do now that he's not with Trump? It's like we are in mouth breather land in terms of how we formulate our positions. It's like, oh, Tucker Carlson, he got attacked by a demon last week in his bedroom, but now he's seen the light about Trump. I don't know how to feel. It's a weird place. We're in a weird place.
I would say we've been in a weird place for quite some time, especially, with all the information and everything that we know about legacy media. And yes, you look at, Tucker and Alex and Candace, and, they've come out, vehemently against, the president for one reason or another. I think they all have their own issues. And, I think, even if you don't agree with them, they have the right, to do so. And they have a platform to espouse, that information, to their listeners, so forth and so on. But let's not act like, legacy media, has just been the bellwether, of American society. And they've just, always been, just staunchly, perfect and honest, with the American people. I mean, let's stop that. Let's stop it. Seriously. I talked about it earlier, but we're going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, it can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. In the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.